In this video, I will demonstrate how to use Stats Pro within Fusion at a head broker or office access level. Once you're logged into Fusion, simply hover over the Reports tab at the top and click on Fusion Stats Pro. Once you click on Fusion Stats Pro, this will take you to the home page of Stats Pro. We are currently looking at the System Reports, which has a long list of reports that we can run. Next to that are personal reports. Personal reports are just reports that you have previously saved, so that way you can just pull them back up at your convenience without having to re-enter all the search criteria. Next to that are most recents. Most recents are just searches that you've most recently ran in the last few days. Next to that, you have Getting Started and Help. Both of these are great resources for you to delve deeper into the Stats Pro program. Now, underneath that, you have a Home button, which simply takes you back to the home page with all the system reports. Next to that, you have a Back button and a Forward button. Now, there are a lot of reports in here, but as an office administrator or head broker, there's just a few that I really want to go through to make sure you know how to use. The first ones are these three right here, the Agent Office Firm Ranking Dashboards. One is by All Firm, the other is by List Firm, and the last one is Sell Firm. Now the difference is List Firm only takes that side of the transaction, the listing side. The Sell side, or the Sell Firm, takes the selling side of the transaction only. And the All Sides, or All Firm, takes both sides of the transaction. So it really depends on how you want to rank your offices, by the listing side, by the selling side, or by both sides. And the difference between a firm and an office is that an office may only have one building, one location, which means that it in itself is a firm, where a firm could consist of multiple offices, such as 2 or 3 or 4 offices. In many cases, you'll notice that there's just one office to a firm, but the bigger companies will have multiple locations, which will comprise of one firm. So, in this example, what I'm going to use is the top one for all firm sides, both sides. So by clicking on that, just opens up the search criteria for this statistical report. Now, in this, you'll notice that there are several criteria that you can do, but only 2 of them are required. The first one is firm name, which has a red star next to it, and year, which also has a red asterisk star next to it. You can fill in as much as you need here, but the 2 that are required is firm name and year. Now, this next tip is very important that you know how to do. Where it has the firm name, where you in the box, do not type the firm name in here. Please use the Browse Values options here. By clicking on Browse Values, this opens up a search list that you can just type in as little or as much of the firm name that you may know. So in this one, I'm just going to type in LOSS. And then when I hit enter, it's going to filter out everything in this list that has those letters in it. Now, once I find my office, I just make sure I highlight it, use the top arrow to pull it over to the right, and then when I hit OK, it's going to throw it in the way that it needs here. So that's very important that you do not type in, that you use the Browse Values options up here. Below that is year. So I need to pick at least 1 year here, or only 1 year here. So you can only do 1 year at a time. So I'm going to use year 2014. Now, like I also said, these other fields you can do as many or as least as you want here, because they are not required. But to get the search results now, I just need to simply go down here to the very bottom and hit Run Report. When I click on Run Report, that's going to take a few moments here, and it's going to calculate all the firms in that, or all the offices within that one firm. Now, you can see here there are 2 offices within that one firm, 01 and 04. Now, let me show you how to use this one here. What you're seeing up here is quantity sold. I can also change it by dollar amount sold. And what you have here is YOY change, which means year over year. So it's going to take 2014 over the previous year and see how much it's increased or decreased. Now, if you see it a positive number, that means it increased from 3% over the previous year. And this bottom office decreased by 20% over the previous year. So if I'm doing 2014, that means it increased over 2013. Now, next you can just put your cursor on top of this one here, and it gives you a little pop-up that says the total sales category is 30,566. And then below that, it just gives you another calculation that just pops up on there. So you can trigger this for sales dollars or quantity sold, whichever one you like. Next, watch this. As I click on this one here, the right-hand side will change and it will show me this year in dark blue and last year within lighter blue. So remember, this year was 2014, so the last year before that was in the light blue. So here you can see each month broken down from its current year to the previous year. And you can see exactly how they compared from each other month by month. And I can do the same by clicking on the next one, and it's just going to change again on the right hand side. And then down here at the underneath this, you have another option here that has actual versus percentage. So you can just change this. This will just show you the percentage amount increased, like I just showed you up here, and it's going to take these numbers here, or decrease from month to month. So actual will just show me how many units it actually increased or decreased. So here's your options down here at the bottom. So these all correlate with these options here at the top, how much they change by. Next, if I scroll back up to the top here, what I have is that's quantity sold over months. I can say quantity sales dollar over months here too. And now you're getting into the dollar amounts. And then last but not least is a neat one, which is called details. Now under details, this one will break it down by agents within the office, the top producing agents. So I'm still at this office here, but I'm going to switch on this office up here. By doing that, now you can see the top selling agents within this office. So just by hovering over each little section here, you see that the amount of the top 10 selling agents within that office. And down below, once you click on an agent's name, it's just going to change this chart down below for that agent that I picked on. So you can click on any agent here, and it's just going to recalculate. And here again, trend over month, or the agent detail. So the agent detail just breaks down all the agents in that office. So you can do it that way too, or just go trend over month, which just allows you to pick the agent here. So play around with this one. This is a pretty cool little feature you can do here. Here at the top, once you run your reports, you have a save button. So if you want to save this report with that criteria that I just entered, you can then give it a name, and it'll be under that personal reports option here. Now there's also a print button you can use here, and then there's some more options down here. The criteria summary just kind of recaps what our criteria was, and then under the glossary is just a list of definitions of the terms that you see within this list here. So we'll just go back to the report tab here. Okay, so that's one of the first reports I wanted to show you. I'm just going to go back to the home page, and that was the all firm side of the dashboard. So you can do it just by an agent if you like. You can do it by just one office. You did notice that we had to do a firm, but underneath that firm you could get the agent or office within that firm there. Now the next one I want to show you is the Agent Award Detail Report. Now this one is also known as the $1 Million Report. This is the one that you typically run from July of one year to the end of June the next year. So this is the $1 Million Report also known as the Agent Awards Detail Report. So I'm going to click on this one here. By clicking on that, it's just going to open up its search criteria. And let me explain some of the criteria that you see here. Now, you'll notice the only requirement is the month and year, is the date format here. Now, this one operates a little differently. If you notice the date format, January of 2013, you would actually enter it as 2013-01. So, if I was going to do that July of one year to the June of the next year, let's do like this, 2014-07, which is July, and I want to go to 2015 of 06, which is June of 2015. So that's your 12-month period that you'd run. Now, once again, I can do this by firm code, office, or agent. Here, always remember to use the browse values. Okay, please do not enter them in here. The browse values will really help you a lot by plugging it in exactly the way this Stats Pro program requires you. So in this first example, I'm just going to do firm code. So by clicking on that again, once again, it's just going to open up your little box, and then when you're able to, just type in whatever firm name that you like and hit enter. And what it's going to do is just filter out everything with that letters that you typed in. So in this one, I'm just going to pick this office or firm and hit the arrow pulled over and hit the OK button. Now, like I said, you can do as many or as much field criteria that you like, property type or county, break it down however you like, but I'm going to leave it wide open just like this. So down here, once again, I'm going to use the Run Report option, which is going to execute this report and give us the $1 million report, or the ranking of each agent within that firm. Now, you'll notice it might take just a few minutes to pull this up, but it's pulling up a lot of agents within this office here. Okay, now that our report is pulled up, you'll notice we're looking at the first office within that firm. We can open this up, scroll down, and find whatever agent that we like in this office. Just by clicking on it, it's just going to give us the ranking report for that agent there, with the list side and the sales side volume here. Okay. Now, here at the top, you'll notice that you can save this report like I showed you before. You'll be able to print this or export this out. Now, when you hit the print button, you notice I'm on this client right here. So if I open this up and I hit the print button, it's going to ask me which layout, and I'm just going to hit the OK button. And what it did, it just pulled up that one agent there. So if I scroll down, you'll notice that's the only agent I'm printing out here. So I can just scroll this back and then choose my other agent that I want to work with here. Okay, so that's the $1 million report. So if I go back to, just use the back button here, go back to that criteria, what I can do here, instead of doing a firm, I could just do an agent in here. So if I already know the agent I want to run, just let me hit the eraser here and then go down to the agent name. Now, like I said before, the agent name, please do not type in, please use the browse values options here. By clicking on that, it's just going to open this up, and now you can type in as little or as much of the agent's name that you know. Hit enter, and it's just going to weed out the ones that you do not have a match for. So in this case, I'm just going to pull up this agent here, pull her name over, and hit OK. Now, I still have the date range in there. I have my agent name in there now. And now down here at the bottom, I could save this search. So that's how I'd save it, and it would go under my personal reports. But here I'm going to hit the Run Reports, and it's just going to execute that for that one agent that I just entered there. Now you'll see that I just have this one agent here for that office. And once again, I can save this, I can print this out, or I can export this out. Okay, we still have the criteria summary here that just shows us the criteria, but I can go back to the home page, and then like I said, if I would have saved it here, it would show up if I go back to my home page and go under my personal reports. I did not save any of these, but if I would have, it would have given me an option to pick the name, and now those reports would have been in here. But both of these should be under most recents. So when I click on most recents, you'll notice that I have them here under the most recent reports that I just ran, where previously I just had the 2. And then way over here on the right is where I can export them or open it up in a PDF format here. Okay, or I can rename it if I need to. I can delete these over here too, also just by putting a check mark here and then hitting remove. Now, I hope this little video helps you. Back on the home page of Stats Pro, remember there are a lot more reports in here you can run, but just these options down here are the ones I really wanted to make sure you knew about. I hope this video helps you, and look forward to future training videos coming your way. Thank you.